She's the Commerce Secretary, right. So here they manipulated employment numbers, which affects markets, by the way, their manipulation of them favored their position in the eyes of, how they're handling the economy. So what a big surprise there. And they're manipulating numbers, just like they tell us that the crime numbers are down. Everybody knows the crime numbers aren't down, okay? The local police, the Philadelphia police, the New York police send out numbers, yet they tell us that that crime numbers are. So this administration cannot be trusted. Kamala Harris covered up for Joe Biden. Then she forced him out, along with the help of Nancy Pelosi and Obama. She was selected, not elected. They're not to be trusted. But worse yet, what their plans are moving forward. Waltz, I hate to call anybody a liar. The guy's a liar on many fronts. The guy sat back while Minneapolis was being destroyed, and Vice President Harris bailed out the few violent criminals that they arrested. So everything about them is extreme, radical, dangerous liberalism.
Well, I mean, when you consider the fact that obviously the jobs market is not as strong as anybody expected, now that we know that 818,000 jobs were non-existent, and I understand that July and August of this year and June of this year are going to even be more significant, whereas there are going to be a lot fewer jobs in those months. So when we do this again next year, we'll see even more revisions. And yet Kamala Harris is backing what Joe Biden wants to do, and that is put a 44.6% capital gains tax in place and a 25% tax on unrealized gains. You're on House Financial Services. I mean, what does that do to an economy that's already slowing? We'll probably see a recession in 25. Yeah,
it's unbelievably devastating, right? And add price controls to that, 25% tax on unrealized gains. So for houses and everything else, people will have to pay along with their portfolios. Their plan will make everything that's been accentuated in a negative way worse during the Biden administration. Inflation will go up. Wages will decline. America will lose jobs through various of their plans.
Wow.
And our energy industry will collapse. I can't even kid by saying outside of that they're wonderful. I mean,
well, I want to ask you about the energy, because you're in Pennsylvania. You just said a minute ago you think that the GOP will win Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. So former President Trump's going to be in Arizona, at the Arizona border later today. He's holding a rally in Glendale on Friday, part of this DNC counter-programming for Swing State Tour. He was in North Carolina yesterday and kicked it off in York, Pennsylvania, focused on energy. Watch this.
Yeah.
When I return to the White House, I will end the anti-American energy crusade and terminate Kamala's so-called power plant rule. Instead of shutting down power plants, we will open dozens and dozens more, and they'll happen fast. Kamala stands for energy disappearance and factory obliteration. I stand for American energy independence and manufacturing dominance.
A recent Quinnipiac University poll has Harris leading Trump by 3 points in Pennsylvania. There's an Emerson College poll, however, has Trump leading by 2 points in the Keystone State. An Insider Advantage survey has Trump leading Harris by 10 points among Pennsylvania independents. But, Congressman, I don't have to tell you how important Pennsylvania is. Yeah. Why do you have such confidence that that Trump wins Pennsylvania? Well,
there's a big reason that Vice President Harris won't do interviews, because her policies are unbelievably bad, and she doesn't have the strength of concentration to carry on an interview, a conversation. She hasn't done her homework. She never has. We saw that as vice president. Why the American people can't just say that's her record? What makes us think that this makeover they're doing for her is actually real? But just go back to the effects of their economic plan. First of all, they don't have one single, including the Secretary of Commerce, private sector individual within their entire administration. The head of the SBA, the administrator, no small business experience whatsoever.
Wow.
They have disdain for the private sector. So everything they're going to do, a continuous assault on energy. Her spending plan is more $1 trillion more than the extra trillion Biden was going to.
Yeah, 1.7 trillion, right? Yeah. She wants to spend money on, giving $25,000 down payment.
The worst thing that you could do, right? I mean, that's going to drive prices up, and it's going to put people in positions to own homes that they can't afford. So all of that stuff always works backwards. So all the worst of the economy, grocery prices are going to go up because farmers, the supply side will increase. Gasoline prices will go up. all the negative effects, crime, they're not going to be leaders on fighting crime. The border, does anybody really think the border is going to improve on day one?
Yeah.
She's vice president. She's in the administration.
Yeah.
Why not now, Madam Vice President? It's a hoax. It's a great big con that frankly, the American people just can't fall for, and we're going to do everything in Pennsylvania to expose the truth. Real simple.
And you think this is going to start sinking in after the DNC?
I do.
Okay. All right, we'll be watching that. Congressman, it's great to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you so much. Dan Meuser here in studio. Stay with us. We'll be right back.